Hi, my name is Aislinn Cambridge and I'm here today at Educo gym in Penrose Wharf. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about Educo. It started for me 11 years ago when my own father became unwell with cancer. He had suffered for a long time and I'd watched this process and felt, as many people do in that situation, really helpless. So I researched, I looked into what else could be done besides just medication. I looked at mindset, I read books, I listened to seminars. And during this process, I really started to develop myself. But what really made a massive change for me and a big impact on my life was one morning when my mother got up for work. My father was very near the end of his life. He was 44 years old. He was in bed. And my mother, when she got up for work, as many people do, mentioned, "God, I'd do anything to stay in bed." And my father looked up at her and he said, "I'd do anything to get out of it." That evening when my mother relayed the story to me, as simple as it was, it had a massive impact on my future. And I can say this now in retrospect, looking back, it probably was one of the big turning points for me. And something I'll always be grateful for because it just gave me a greater appreciation for life. Why is this relevant to why I'm here? Well, it's one of the main reasons I'm here. And for me, just like anybody listening, there's turning points in your life where you make decisions that will ultimately change your future for the better. Just the same as when we make decisions that ultimately, unfortunately, don't. For me, that was one of those times. And one of the next ones that happened not long afterwards was coming to Educo gym. I think it actually was a direct result of making certain decisions myself. Because every morning we get up, we have a choice. We have a choice to live our life to the best of our ability, or we have our choice to just go with the flow. And sometimes just going with the flow isn't a good choice because it means we're not changing anything. And if you today want to change your fitness level, want to change your health, want to make a positive difference in your life, then the first thing that needs to change is yourself. For me, coming to Educo was one of those changes. At Educo gym, unlike any other gym out there, it's specifically tailored at helping the client bring out the best in themselves. I think that that's probably the key element that separates us from any other gym. With Educo, the word itself, actually taken from the Latin word which means to educate, means to draw out from within the person. And this is one of the most important things that we take into consideration with every single person who walks in the door to come to Educo. Every time I come in and train, I have that same experience where I get trained to the degree that I can feel my muscles working, I can see the difference in my body, I can feel the difference mentally and physically in my energy levels, my relationships, my everyday life has improved tremendously. So when I talk about Educo, I speak about it from experience, and I speak about it because I want other people to have that experience. Well, I suppose one of the first things that makes Educo very different is this lovely machine that we have here. This machine is called the Time Machine. It's called the Time Machine for two reasons. The first reason is it's a 20-minute workout when you come in, so it's time efficient. You come in and you work your muscles intensely, which is the key element to working your muscles. If you're not going to do it right, don't bother doing it. You come in and you train with intensity for 20 minutes. At Educo, you have your own trainer. So there is a trainer here to supervise you throughout your workout. The machine is designed so that the trainer can see you throughout the whole workout and make sure you're doing the exercise correctly. The instructor is going to show you how to do the exercise. They're going to talk you through the exercise. They're going to make sure you know what muscles you're meant to be feeling. When you're working the muscles, they talk you through it and make sure your technique is correct. There's no room for error here. The instructor can see you, so you're never going to do anything that's going to harm you. You're not going to, go in and have bad technique, which is ultimately going to result in you having an injury. The machine is designed so that none of that is a problem. So that's one of the reasons it's called the Time Machine. The other reason, the second reason, and probably for me a really important reason, I'm 35 years old myself, and I suppose as a female or a male, it doesn't really matter. We want to ensure that we stay at our best as we get older. I never say to people as I get older, I usually say as I live longer, because I don't believe that the longer we live, that we should just age and become wrinkled and decrepit and bent over with organ failure and, hormone problems. I don't think that that's the case. I think actually if you take your health into your own hands and, by doing weights training, you're doing that, it ultimately means that you're going to look healthy and have vitality no matter what age you are. So when you come to Educo and you work on the Time Machine, what it does is it helps you to build muscle. So doing weights training is going to help you build muscle. And a lot of people, that might not be the big, oh, that's brilliant, but really by building muscle, what you're doing is you're burning body fat. So the more muscle you have, the less fat you have. On the time machine, when you build muscle and you burn fat, what else that does is it helps to protect your body internally and externally. So after the age of 30, you're losing about 1/2 pound of muscle every year. And that's not just your bicep and your quadriceps, that's your heart, your liver, your kidneys, your brain. So all of these muscles are just wasting away. But we can stop that process, or we can reverse that process. So what you're doing ultimately by doing weights training is you're building muscle, which is protecting those internal organs, and also giving your body obviously a physically better shape and sculpting it more. So you look healthy, you're more flexible, you're stronger. Not only that, but it's 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes on the machine, and in that 20 minutes you're getting a workout. Most people go to a regular gym and they work out for maybe an hour. But do you know, in that hour, the average person wastes 20 minutes moving from machine to machine. So in that time, you're effectively wasting 20 minutes, whereas you come to a Educo gym and work out in the time machine, and in that 20 minutes you got your workout. Personally, for me, that time efficiency makes a big difference. It means I have more time with my family, my friends, to do other hobbies, to have fun, to do the things that are important in your life and not waste that time. So it's time efficient. And at the end of the day, celebrities have a personal trainer. Celebrities have somebody who tell them what exercises to do, give them a goal, help them towards their goal, motivate them, train them, watch their form. And you come to a Educo gym and you're like a celebrity. You have your own trainer, the person who shows you what to do, tells you what to do, talks you through it, motivates you, helps you to achieve your goals. Because ultimately the most important thing is that your goal is what's going to get you to where you want to be. And as long as you're sharing that goal with the right people and they're giving you the advice you need to get that goal, that's what leads to success in anything. So here at Educo, that's what your trainer's here for. After that, I suppose the next great thing about Educo that again separates it from any other gym out there, because there isn't really any comparison. Educo is different because it has a time machine. Other gyms have weights, and that's all well and good. You go to the gym and do your weights, but generally you don't have somebody standing with you, guiding you, and generally you don't know what to do. You might have an induction and you're left to your own devices after that. Whereas here you have that constant contact, you have that constant support. The other thing then is the fact that when you come into a Educo gym that you have your own consultant. So you have a nutritionist who sits with you and gives you a tailor-made eating plan. Educo works with the most cutting-edge information on nutrition. So when it comes to leading the field with nutritional information, we're always updating our knowledge, we're always training, we're continuously learning what's the best thing, how to deal with people with different conditions, what diet will suit what person. And the eating plans that we have here are very effective. In fact, Educo is known because we're the only gym in the world with university research to back up our results. On the 12-day program, Dr. Tony Quinn was able to show that in 12 days training on the time machine for 20 minutes a day, which is about 4 hours over the period of 12 days, the average person was losing 7.5 pounds of fat and gaining 3 pounds of muscle. Now, for me, I think that's also another fantastic thing about the gym and about training intensely, is that you can get those kind of results in that type of time. I mean, 4 hours of training over the period of 12 days and you're going to lose over 1/2 stone of fat, body fat, which makes us appear larger, and gain muscle, which makes us look firmer. And that's really the key to long-term maintenance of healthy weight, for long-term maintenance of fitness, for long-term maintenance of your organs, for long-term maintenance of well-being. Because when you build that muscle, that will always burn fat. Muscle burns fat, that's what happens. It's like a hot coal, and you put a pound of butter on it and it melts, and that's what muscle is like. It's going to burn that fat around. When you have that kind of a result, it's not just there and then that it happens in the 12 days, it's also ongoing. Because when you do weights training, it's said that it's an average of 36 hours afterwards you're still burning. When you go for a run, for example, when you do cardio exercise, you're burning while you're doing the effort, while you're applying the effort. Whereas when you come to a Educo gym and you train on the time machine for 20 minutes, your body, not only in the 20 minutes are you getting results, but for 36 hours afterwards. So you could be sitting home on your couch watching TV. To me, it's a no-brainer, really. 20-minute workout, 36 hours of benefit. It's also tailored here so that the individual comes in during their 12 days and does their 20-minute workout. It's also tailored that it's broken into different muscle groups. So you're never going to fatigue your muscles. You're never going to overtrain. You're never going to be wasting your muscle. It's really important that you maintain that muscle. And we understand that here. We understand that because we know the science, we know the nutrition, we know the anatomy and physiology of how things work. Everybody here is trained and qualified to work with each individual. On top of the research and on top of the training and on top of the nutrition and on top of the amazing team of staff and this amazing mental climate that we have, where extraness is our motto, and we live from that model of Educo. We want to bring out the best in every person. One of the top things that you will experience at Educo compared to anywhere else is when you come in here, your goal is our goal. To be able to be part of that for us here is everything. These kind of changes in somebody's life is going to have a massive positive impact, because everybody has problems, everybody has worries, everybody has stresses. But what we notice here is in that 20 minutes people let them go, and that has a knock-on effect on their everyday life, because then they tend to learn how to cope with those stresses and worries and problems a lot better, because mentally they've given themselves a break from it for 20 minutes. I believe that weights training is one of the only forms of exercise where you can actually see a positive impact on your everyday focus in other areas of your life. So when you do weights training and you learn to apply that focus for 20 minutes, it has a positive impact on everything in your life. You know, I mean, that's a nice little benefit. Somebody comes in here and they know in the back of their mind what they want. We get them to make a decision on what their goal is. Once they've decided that goal, every time they come in here, we remind them of it. We work with them to achieving it. We get excited about it. We see the end result for them, because we would be of no use to anybody if we couldn't see beyond all of the stuff that's getting in their way of getting their goal. Because, you know, if they keep doing what they've always done, they'll always get what they've always got. And if we join up with that, we're not going to be able to help them effectively. So we are trained and we are constantly working on helping the person to achieve their goal without seeing anything getting in the way. That if you want to make changes in your life and you want to improve your life, then it does start with you. And that's where change occurs in any area of your life, is with yourself. So when I think about that, I think about all of the decisions I've made and the action I've taken to achieve the things I wanted to achieve. And it does start with action. You make the decision, and that's the first piece of action, is your mind sees what the vision is, what your goal is, what you really want to achieve. And then from there you take actual action, where you either make a call, or you find somebody, or you read a book, or you go to a class, or you join a gym, or you do whatever you need to do to start the ball rolling towards your goal. I think if you're inspired by something, it's like a lighthouse that will draw you in. Go to places where the atmosphere is good, find that good mental climate in yourself, and go and hang out with people who are doing what you want to do. And I think that is essentially the deal breaker to make the most amazing change in your life.